We're bringing up our final person, but I think we should establish a few points before we go. A, I wish Scott Allenspach was here. Fuck. I guess that's the only point I really need to establish. But we're bringing up Chris Wink now, who smells like an Italian sub, as Jay mentioned. And I think that's really it. But get on up, all right? Thank you. Thank you for all of that. I really appreciate it. I've never felt such kindness. And warmth. Let me adjust myself. All right. This is an important one. That's a good one right there. We'll save that. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you, of course, for being here. Thank you for all that. I would like to add on to the thanks Roastmaster already gave. Brian, thank you very much for having us here. It's a beautiful place. Good to be here. And I'm proud to be back in the SC, the 973. I love it here. Love it here. I've been traveling a lot, as has been mentioned, traveling a lot of late. You know, from West Africa and Ghana, where many of the people living there suffer from yellow fever, to just recently Japan, where all the men traveling there suffer from yellow fever in a different way. I'm not sure you missed it. We'll get that tomorrow, I swear. And I missed all of you, but you know, I'm back to be back, and I'd love to introduce many of you and talk about some. So, I want to really point out, easy. I was better when I was falling from the cup here, right? They're out of order, that's the problem. Easy, fellas. All right, here we go. So, I did a lot of the inviting, as a lot of you I'm sure know, I probably contacted some of you, and in that way, I was pretty worried who would actually show up, because as has been established, apparently I smell. So, clearly I was worried about who would show up. And I want to point out, you know, Nicole Enschemeyer's in here, and I'm pretty sure she's having sex right now. Ashley Newman couldn't make it. I'm pretty sure she's a hypodermic needle in her arm right now. And interestingly enough, even Lauren Kwiatkowski didn't make it. I'm pretty sure she's having sex while using a hypodermic needle. One person I was certain would not show up was Robin. Robin lives right up the street from me. But I was certain she wouldn't return my call, and big surprise, she didn't return my call. Even before she started dating Chris Bierman, I hope Robin remembers this, I managed to get up the balls to call her, I think we were in juniors, to call her and ask her to go out, to go to the movies. And I gave her the call, and I suggested, let's go to a movie. She, without hesitation, told me that she'd seen the movie already, said that she would talk to me later, and hung up on me. That is in all seriousness, and that's great for a kid that already smells. It's tough to have someone shoot you down like that. So that hurt. And that green Mustang of hers has been avoiding me ever since. Sarah Foster made it. I was excited about that. And I have always loved Sarah Foster. And if she wasn't engaged to an ex-Marine with the nickname The Hammer and the last name Ram, I would do something about it. But I'm not there. I was hoping Casey Cosin would come, and she told me she was going. She lied. She's a date. Well, clearly it's not with me, and that fits right well with what I'm about to say. Because Casey Cosin can add her to the list of girls I tried to get with and failed miserably. I gave her a call, I think it was also junior year. I was active junior year, apparently. Active and failing. Junior year, I think I called her, and she hasn't returned one of my calls since, and that is true fact. But to defend her, I should admit that she's always had a lot of attention from the boys. She dated Scott Williamson, apparently, when she was younger. She had hookups in Florida and England. She had one big to-do with Long Dick Brian Zuber, which we mentioned. And I think even Mike Haggerty had a hand in it, but we'll leave that out. I think I made a couple attempts to get with Michelle Burkis, very embarrassing attempts, a couple times. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who fucked that up here. But she had better men on her mind as well. How long were you shacking up with Steve Zanetti? How long did that go? And how is that bodybuilding career of his going? Well, I want to know. But I hear you have his new sweetheart, Craig is his name, so I guess we'll just have to wait to see how his future is going to work out. she roasted, which I thought was good, and all of you laughed politely, which is good, because god damn it, isn't she intimidating? You're gonna have a personal conversation with her. There's not a soul in this barn that had the balls to put her in her place, and that's true, and all of you know it. But no one will admit this when Michelle asks you later, is that true? No. I never did go for Liz Ragsdale, but I know Scott Iwanowski did. And too soon? Too soon? There's no surprise that old Goober is here. Brian Ryan, as everyone said. He is, as Ashley mentioned, here with his longtime girlfriend, Donna. This is the first time I've met her. Brian's probably one of my closest friends, so I was happy to get a chance to meet her. And this is true. Some of you may know this. Brian's longtime girlfriend, of course we call Brian Goober, we always have. Brian's longtime girlfriend, Donna, was nicknamed Goober in high school as well, which I think is just spectacular. And actually, Brian gave me some very exciting news, much of this surprise the circle yet, but Brian and Donna are engaged to get married. So I think a round of applause for that. That's big news. I think it's a big deal. So congratulations, hope that all works out. But you know, Goober's really like Where's Waldo with worse fashion sense. That's all I'm gonna say. Because, I mean, wherever I'm in the SC, I always feel like he's been there, is going there, or will find himself there. But it's never, of course, because of him. He doesn't get invited anywhere. It's because of his allegiance to Eric Pompey. And yes, that's the same Eric Pompey, the only person I know who would ever consider Greg Pompey a worthwhile role model. Greg Pompey, this is the same Greg Pompey who could not get with a drunk Anna Buckbauer. And I'm sure anyone who's seen Anna Buckbauer drunk since she graduated high school would think that's embarrassing. I've known cardboard cutouts that have gotten some ass from Anna Buckbauer. That's ridiculous. Anyway, that little clan of Eric Pompey and Brian Reiner, from my experience, usually rounded out by Adam Heisler and Steve Zannetti. Neither of whom could make it here tonight. But I found whenever they are not playing the extras in someone else's life, they're usually playing poker, gambling away money they can't afford to lose, and talking about lives they'll never have. Steve Zannetti, of course, is the only young man I've ever met who thought working in a factory could be a profitable and worthwhile job. That's true. And I'd love to, it's a shame he isn't here because I would love to explain to him the concept of outsourcing. Of course, Shakia Jackson couldn't make it either, disappointed there. Shakia, who for everyone here is my one black friend from high school, just had a baby, Aluna Nikayla. That's true. I give a round of applause. That is true. She's healthy. I think she was born Wednesday. So that's big news. So she couldn't be here tonight, obviously. But I heard that while giving birth, she somehow broke her leg and caught pneumonia. I don't know if that's true. She'll, of course, always be remembered for getting those disastrous accidents and painful injuries at the worst moments. And for those of us who know, Pope John's own hypochondriac extraordinaire, Sam Spencer, you'll see that it was nothing more justified than the two of them crashed into each other their freshman year at SEIL. And you might wonder, why did Sam Spencer not continue her basketball career? It's because I heard that the SEIL commissioner realized that there would be something dangerous in go down if they both had to go. Asked one of them to leave, because surely someone would catch meningoencephalitis or something dangerous. What are you going to do? And Matt Sheehan and I guess Jay Lechko both mentioned Sean putting his indelible mark on Jessica Taylor, so I can skip over that. I wish she was here though, because I've always wanted to say, Jessica, all the lesbian jokes I could write were so much funnier before she actually became one. So that's hurt a lot. And it got me to thinking about how, really, writing jokes is a tough thing. So I got lazy and I just kind of have some things that I was putting down and couldn't really work into jokes. Mike Holt was supposed to be here. So I had a couple messages, one of which were Mike Holt, because Mike Holt, I don't know about you, but I have not seen Mike Holt. I don't know where he's been in the past 3 years, but when I did know him, he was always a close